Welcome to Boing Boing TV. I'm Sheni Jardin. Today we're speaking with a Tibetan human rights advocate, Lakpa Khizom from Dharamshala, India. She's been speaking with monks there who have come over from Tibet, specifically from an area called Amdo, where very recently there were huge protests against China's occupation of Tibet. And there's been a massive military and police crackdown since those protests. Dharamshala, for people watching this, is an area in northern India where you are currently, and a large number of Tibetan refugees fled to after the occupation, and indeed it's where the government in exile is based and where His Holiness the Dalai Lama is based. Lakpa Khizom brings us stories of monks and nuns distributing phone cam photos and videos of human rights violation using the internet, using cell phones. Let's hear what she has to say.
On 28 March 2008, the Chinese security forces entered into the Kirti monastery, and they were around like tens and thousands of security forces surrounded the monastery. The monastery is huge. It accommodates around like 2,500 monks, and security forces raided each monk's room and ransacked the monastery. So when they raided each monk's room, they found out photos of the Dalai Lama, and they threw the photos on the ground and forced the monks to step on that. And right after that, they made the monks to hold the photographs of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Tibetan national flag, and they videotaped the scene, the fake scene made by the Chinese police. There is a danger of the Chinese making a false and fake evidence of His Holiness the Dalai Lama by videotaping all this, like proving him as the mastermind behind the protests in Tibet.
So you're saying there are reports that Chinese government agents are going into monasteries and at gunpoint staging media that could be then used to argue that the Dalai Lama is organizing what amounts to terrorist or insurgent activity there.
True, right. They are staging that.
Khizom, how did you get this information?
I was working with Tibet Connection, and it was on the 16th March 2008 when we were preparing for some of our program. One of the Kirti monks approached me and asked me, "Sister, are you working in the media? I want to talk to you because I'm in desperate to tell the real story of what's happening in Kirti monastery." And at that very moment, he received a call from Tibet. And from 16 March till now, we've been connecting through cell phone conversation, and through that we became close, and we could reach out the real story of Kirti monastery to the world.
And how are they connecting to the outside world?
They are connecting to the monks here in Dharamshala through cell phones, and earlier through the internet connection through their laptops. You have seen the photos of the monks that were killed in Amdongaba. These pictures were sent by one of the monks of that Amdongaba area through email.
Was the big protest in Amdo, is this why the Chinese military came to this monastery?
Yes, that's true, because it was in Amdongaba area that we got all the photographs, dead bodies that were received by the monastery. So these photos were disseminated to the world through the photos received from Amdongaba area.
So when the Chinese government realized that documentation was being distributed by the monks, they came and harassed the monks at Kirti Monastery and limited their ability to communicate by taking away internet, cell phones, all of that.
Yes, and that's why they entered into the monastery, confiscated all the means of communication tools, and arbitrarily arrested those monks who know how to use and access the information through technology. There are around like 573 monks who were arbitrarily arrested, and nobody knows where they are. And the youngest age is 10 years. There is a strategic repression on religious freedom and human rights violation is going on in Tibet. 3rd September 2007, they had brought out a new policy called Order Number 5. Order Number 5 is all the reincarnations of High Lamas are selected by the Tibetans, and there is a tradition of that. But now the Chinese, they want to control that reincarnation through their Order Number 5. and want to put their control over the reincarnation of the Lama. Say like they have this political thing that if His Holiness passes away, they have the control of the next Dalai Lama. So the Chinese are always, controlling the Tibetans through political repression. They always use their power, position, and money to control the Tibetans.
What are the conditions now at Kirti Monastery for the monks who were not detained? Is anyone in Dharamshala in touch with people in Amdo who would know what the conditions are like?
The situation is very tense, volatile, and people are frightened. The important thing is that in Lhasa, in all over Tibet, there is no Westerner and foreign media seen. So the people in Tibet are very, very desperate to get the information of Tibet outside to the world. They are using every means of communication tools to convey the information. We need the Chinese government to have a dialogue with His Holiness the Dalai Lama based on concrete result, on genuine benefit for both the sides. And the second is that we need a freedom of press in Tibet. We need free access to Tibet. And the third one is we need medical support to the injured. There are so many thousands of Tibetans who are injured and who are not treated. We need the Chinese government to release all the detained and all the political prisoners. We also urge the international government to pressure the Chinese to restrain from violence, because they are using their strategic violent repression.
Kizom, how many people do you estimate are being detained or in jail because of political activity?
The Tibetan government in exile have come up with a confirmed 140 Tibetans being killed by the Chinese security forces, and there are thousands injured, thousands arbitrarily arrested, and thousands missing, and the death toll is still rising in Tibet. The Chinese state media, that is CCTV, China's communist television, brings out all different sorts of propaganda and misleading informations that the Lhasa is now back in a normal life, everything is going fine. Nobody knows what's really is happening in Tibet. That's why His Holiness in his press conference mentioned that we urge the international community and UN to send an independent fact-finding mission in Tibet to find out what's going on in Tibet. Before we sign off, I just want to urge the international community to really do not condemn us by your silence. We need your words, we need your actions, and Tibet needs you. Thank you so much.
Creative Commons share, remix, reuse. Check us out at creativecommons.org.
Creative Commons is designed to save the world from failed sharing.
Creative Commons license can cover anything that copyright covers. Every license says you need to give me attribution.
The basic choices are commercial use or not. Can you make derivative works? And do you want me to have to share alike? So if I take your stuff, do I have to offer it to the next person under the same terms?